Hello, everyone. So, yes, I'm talking, I know. And, so I was asked by someone a few days ago to make a video explaining each of my factions that I use, and since I actually use NPCs from a few different universes, I might as well divide these videos up into different universes per video, I guess. So this is one universe so far, and they're all from the world of Nemrone, and I guess you just want me to explain what each of them are and all that. So this is the Kingdom of Honoron, and they have all these lords and everything. They got King Alton, Princess Ayla. They're basically Vikings, except they're a lot more civilized, and they still live up in the northern areas of the continent. So they're in the snow and everything. And they also fight dragons constantly. And then these guys are the Kingdom of Averon because they're neighbors of them, so they have similar names. They're smaller, so they have less lords. And King Andros here is an asshole. They've gone to war a few times, that kind of thing. And, yeah. They're also fairly up north, but they're like the only humans that have guns. So, it gives them somewhat of an advantage since they do have smaller armies, they get gunpowder. And then this is the Kingdom of Varen. They are in the western part of the continent, and they're led by King Gregor. And they're basically Rohan from Lord of the Rings. There's not really a difference. They use a lot of fucking horses. And then they have a prince, of course. Unlike them who has a princess, he has no heirs. This guy has a prince, so he has a son. And they have dukes. And then this is the Kingdom of Okna, which are mainly sea-based, so they have captains instead of generals because they have ships. They don't really fight on the land too much. They love trading. They're in the eastern part of the continent, so they're east of them. They border them and they border them, but they don't border the northern kingdom. And King Bruce also has a son. And they're also extremely rich. And then this is the Kingdom of Envry, led by Emperor Eden. And they have two generals that ride horses, and then they have this old guy who's just on foot. And these guys are a combination of all four of them, because there's an incident that happens in this universe where everyone just gets completely destroyed and the kingdoms are fairly well damaged. So this guy comes in and unites everyone. At least all the humans anyway. And then this is King Aeonir. He basically just lives up in the Arctic Circle. He has a kingdom up there, and they use a lot of ice magic. They ride polar bears. They tame the ice dragons. They're usually the ones that are actually attacking the first kingdom over there of the north, even though they don't actually know it. I haven't actually made their armies yet, so they're not posed or anything. Then over here, let's start with the Dwarves. There are 6 clans of dwarves in this universe, so 6 holds. There's King Ordis, who's clan Goldbeard, and he has a son named Norhill. They are extremely rich. I mean, clearly they're extremely rich. They have mithril weapons and wearing gold, so yeah. Then we have Clan Pyron, which they just love using fire. A lot of fire. They also have boar riders, which is always useful to have dwarves riding something, since they don't run very fast. And they're one of the dwarven clans actually have a female leader. We have this clan with Lord Ryvier, who is named Clan Vigik, which would be his last name also. They have Captain Bori. They are also very rich, but because they have like all the gold and mithril mines, basically these guys have all the technology. So these guys have all the gunpowder and machines and things. A little big. And this is Clan Ulasir. They don't actually have a lord because some bad things happens, and they're technically part of that clan. But they're all a bunch of rangers, which is odd because dwarves aren't very good at sneaking or using archery. So they're also fairly useful. There's not a whole lot of them. Their hold isn't big or anything, so yeah, they got Captain Ulrich and they have Captain Carson. And then there's my clan, which is Clan Vitalis. And this is Vigik's dad, who's obviously an old guy. And then there's me, and I'm fairly tall, considering things. And then my clan also has a female leader, who is actually Vigik's daughter, in the lore. So, Princess Velisi. She's like the leader of all the dwarven maidens and everything, who I have not paid yet. But I have made them in the past, so you should be able to find them in videos. And then this is Vigik's uncle, so he's Vigik's dad's brother, and he owns his own hold. And then this is Yorn. He's just another guy who helps lead the armies. This is Vigik's cousin, so he's his uncle's son. That is his son, and he's the captain of the Royal Guard, so he gets a fancy green cape and everything, and a massive sword. Then we have Clan Zinnik, which are all the Berserkers, and they wear a lot of mithril and things, and they combine it with diamond. So they have decent smithing, I guess you could say. They're not amazingly rich, but they're basically just the soldiers. They want to run in and kill everything. So they have their own hold and lord. You got their captain here, and they wear a lot of runes on their armor. So yeah. That's all the dwarves then. Then we have the elves next. This is the person in charge of the Crimson Wood Elves. They live in basically like the Red Forest. They, of course, live with fire a lot. Fairly obvious because she's holding fire. Okay. This is Vigik's mother, because Vigik is a half-dwarf. She dies at some point, so don't worry about that. She's the normal wood elf, and then this is just an extra wood elf leader who helps her. And the wood elves are part of the dwarves, all the wood elves, unlike the dark elves and high elves who are their own thing. Then we have this guy who's the leader of the dark elves. And the Dark Elves only have one guy because they are enslaved by the High Elves. And the High Elves are technically a republic, even though they still have a king. So, yeah, they enslaved the Dark Elves. Dark Elves have this guy as a leader for morale purposes. They're just used as like militia and things mainly. And then they got the High Elves here, who are all down south in the southern end of the continent. We got King Arundel, Bladier, the Lord. They all ride horses because they're too lazy to walk. They're massive assholes. They hate the dwarves hate them. It's all generic things that you should know from fantasy. Yep, that's about right. Then we got the gods of this universe. We have 6 elemental gods. We have the god of light, the goddess of fire, the goddess of nature and life, the god of the earth, the god of water, and the god of weather. So this is basically Thor. Fairly straightforward. And then we have bad guys. People who are actually bad guys, even though like they can fight them, that kind of thing. Humans can go to war with each other, doesn't mean they're actually bad guys. But over here we have 5 mages of varying types. This guy is a mage of electricity. Just hit him. This guy is basically a mage of poison and shit like that. That's a necromancer, just raises the undead. He's a mage of fire and he's a mage of water. But they're all evil. So they're like their own thing, I guess. They're clearly not human anymore. Like they were human, but they just decided to do shit. Then we got the orcs. Clan Hammerhood. He has a giant hammer. He wears a hood. They're orcs. They hate everyone. They just want to kill people. I mean, that's the best I can do for them. And we got the undead. These guys are basically created by the necromancer there, and they are the main army that the mages use in general. So they're just called the Risen. They look decent in my opinion, even though they're just like skeletons. But yeah, armored skeletons. And this is a rebel. He's actually a rebel of the Rohan-esque people. He's by himself. He doesn't have a big thing. He basically just owns a castle somewhere. And yeah. And then we got the 2 bad gods. We got Herobrine, because why not use him? He's, you know. And then we got the god of the end. So we got Herobrine, who's basically the god of lies, deception, destruction. And then the god of the end is the god of shadows and darkness, silence. Yeah. So that, I guess that's about it for this group of NPCs, I guess. Clearly I'm not used to talking in videos, so forgive me for anything like that. If you thought this was shit, let me know. I'll try to redo it. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for clicking on the video. Yeah, have a good day.